and welcome back to Signal Boost, where we talk about makeup from brands owned by people of color, immigrants, and first generation people. So today I thought we would do something a little different. I don't have any new products for you today, but I thought I would play around with a product that I have been using for a few days and I'm really enjoying. And I kind of want to see what it can do. And what I think I'm going to do is take this Makeup by Mario Prep and Set palette here, which is a primer, an eye primer in two different shades, and a kind of setting powder for the eyes, which, as I talked about previously, this is the kind of vanilla shade that most people who wear makeup who have my complexion have this in their collection, have hit pan on it in various other palettes. So it's wonderful that he has this nice big pan of this shade because it's going to get a lot of use. So what I thought I would do is I noticed that the last time I used this, that this color here, it looks rather pink in the pan, but it went on very, very light. It's much lighter than my skin tone. So if I swatch it here, you'll see that that is a couple shades lighter than my actual skin tone. And I thought, oh, this would be really great to use for a bright eye look because that would help those colors come out more. And I happen to have a very bright palette. It's not from a company that is owned by a person of color, but I thought I would try it out, and then you could use whatever palette you have, and I could encourage you to pick up something that has the same matte, bright colors from a company that meets whatever requirements that you have, whether it be clean beauty or companies owned by people of color, or, you know, whatever criteria you have for your own buying. I think you can get this. I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm going to show it to you, and those of you who are in the know will know which one this is. But these are the colors that I'm going to use today. And as you can see, very bright, vibrant colors. And I thought we would do a little art lesson because a lot of times these bright matte colors really combine together like watercolors. So I thought what we would do is do a yellow and red, make orange in the middle kind of look, and see where it goes. And then we'll choose a lipstick to go with it. I did want to mention that for the first time in a long time, I lined my lower waterline today. And I did that because I wanted to see how Makeup by Mario's eyeliner pencil would perform on the waterline. It's not something I usually do because I think it, in real life and normal viewing, it shrinks the size of my eyes the way they appear. But when I got on work meetings today, I noticed that it didn't appear strange at all to me. It actually helped define my eyes, and I looked less. I've been talking a lot about how flat I look or how puffy or how one-dimensional I look on camera. And I found that lining the waterline and then, of course, doing my tight line, which is essentially doing the same thing on the top, really enhanced my appearance. And it didn't do it in a way that looked, that I thought looked unnatural or outside of my own, what I consider to be my own makeup style, which is fairly natural, or I wouldn't even say minimal, but, you know, laid back, you know, not super lame. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that, and it has not smudged. I'm really, really pleased with the staying power of this. And I'm trying not to do reviews on this channel and just tell you my experience of things, but I will tell you my experience of this is that it is a pencil that goes on well. It's not a gel pencil. Usually gel liners do not work for me. They, I meant to say that gel liners are the only ones that work for me and regular pencils don't. And they always smudge. This one did not. So I was able to put it on the waterline. When it dried down, it stayed. So enough about that. Let's get into the makeup. So I'm going to start by just taking that lightest shade in the Prep and Set palette and putting it on my lid. And he has 3 different options for this palette. So if you have darker skin, then you should use whatever palette is best for your complexion, and you probably can do something similar here. You could also pick up the light palette if you wanted to do a lot of these very bright looks and you wanted to make sure that the color really stood out. So I'm taking this lightest color and I'm going to pack it on a little thicker than I would normally if I were just using it as a primer, as a way of setting the eyes and keeping the creasing at a minimum. I'm also going to put this in the corner of my eyes, which helps brighten the inner corner there. So I'm going to put a little bit more here. I already have my mascara and my eyeliner on, as you know. I'm kind of at the end of my day, so I thought I would play a little bit, but that eyeliner has lasted really, really well. Sorry for the crinkle. Getting in a makeup wipe here so I don't have primer covering my fingers. Looks a little crazy right now, and that is because we are about to lay down the brights. So let's get started here. I am just going to I'm going to start with the lightest color and then go into the red. So I'm just taking that yellow. Yellows are very hard to do, I've noticed. I am not a chemist, so I don't know the reasons for it, but this is a well-known, well-respected, high-quality brand. Oh, I forgot to. Oh, Mario. How could I? My favorite thing about the palette, this prep and set, is the powder. And I didn't set. I'm so sorry, Mario. This helps them blend so much better. Oh my gosh, getting ahead of myself. There we go. Now we're all set. Anyway, as I said about the yellow, even this highly regarded high quality palette, the yellow is dusty, and I think this is must be a really difficult formula to achieve. So let's see how this works on top. Ooh, on top of this primer. Nice. So I'm noticing I'm getting, do you see that pigment? I'm really getting a lot more payoff than on my bare skin with this yellow. Ooh, that is very nice. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting the lightest color that I plan to use on the inner lid. So I'm going to bring more light to that part of the eye, and we'll use the darker color on the outside. So just using really basic color theory and light theory. Here we go. Very nice and bright. I'm really loving that. Okay, and then I'm going to go over to this red in the palette, which kind of comes out, it comes on the eyes kind of in a raspberry tone until you build it up. One thing about reds is that they're actually not technically approved for the eyes because they use an ingredient that can be irritating. So these are actually considered to be pressed pigments. So just be aware of that. If you have sensitive eyes, you might want to skip reds. Okay, so I'm just patting that on the outside, and I'm already starting to see, I don't know if you can see that kind of orange shade that I'm going for in the middle is starting to come up. So this is just like a little kid playing with her paints, with their paints. And combining colors. I love that. I feel like a butterfly. So I am now going to do some color palette magic and get a little blending brush and make our orange. All right, so I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to take a teeny brush that has some fluff to it. This is 1,000,000 years old for me. And I'm going to go right on that line. And I'm going to go just back and forth. Just making little tiny motions. Because I want those two to come together and give us a beautiful orange. That line's starting to soften. I'm going back and forth because I want that border to be in the middle. I want that orange created right in the middle. I want a softer transition. I go all the way up there. I'm not taking the shadow off. I'm just making them blend into one another. Moving them back and forth, doing little circles, trying not to move the eyelid skin too much. Just light pressure. And when you have such a big difference between colors, that blending is so important. I'm going to take a slightly larger brush now that I have, pardon me for all my dropping, I'm going to take a slightly larger blending brush and just continue to diffuse that now that I've gotten that initial blend, blending the red into the yellow and the yellow into the red, and just getting that nice gentle orange color in the middle. Yeah. And then what I think we should do is just to call attention to that gradient there, a kind of orange in the middle. I think what I'm going to do is take the orange from this palette. Here we go, that one right there. And I am going to put that into the transition area. And I'm going to be light about it because I want to keep this nice and pastel. So I'm just going to place that above, above the yellow and the red, or the kind of berry pink color. As it's being blended out, it's looking a little pinker. And I'm just going to place that orange right above it to give us a nice watercolor effect. I'm really liking how that's going on. And again, the as I've mentioned before, that powder, that vanilla colored powder in the Makeup by Mario Prep and Set little palette is so nice for just, these shadows are just gliding over it. I mean, these shadows are normally pretty decently easy to use, but oh my goodness, they're even nicer with this Prep and Set. Yeah, there we go. So I have kind of a butterfly look going on, which I'm really enjoying. That's a lot of fun. And I love how those colors were able to come out, and the yellow is not blended away or faded at all. It's still looking nice and bright. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that. So I think I'm gonna end up, I think the last thing that I want to do is add a little purple, just a little contrast on the bottom lash line. So I'm going to take this color here, and I'm just going to run it along the lower lash line to just provide a little bit of extra contrast here. Go below that liner. And then just kind of lift here on the corner, and then I'll blend that in with the reddy pink here. Just smoke it a little bit. There. there we have a nice butterfly kind of look with the help of this very light eye primer that helps us colors come out. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you can get these colors, these matte colors, and lots of different from lots of different brands. I would suggest checking out Colored Rain has a matte brights kind of palette with these nice bright colors in them. So that's one place you could go. Colored Rain is a Black woman-owned business, and she's well known for the quality of her eyeshadows. I haven't had a chance to try them yet, but that is definitely on my list. But she has a wonderful, as far as I can tell from everything I've seen, she has neutral, not neutral, but she has matte bright colors like this. So that's a palette that you could use if you don't want to use this unnamed, well-known brand that is not owned by a person of color like I just did. So here is the eye look, and oh, I forgot, let's do lipstick. I think we should do this orange, since we're doing an orange eye look. And you can use any kind of orange or a warm red, or you could go the other direction and use a purple for this look. And there we go. Ah, yes. So just gentle watercolor kind of butterfly effect here with some orange lips. And that's the look. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I just love you. Goodbye.